Today is the big Oscar day. Lots of beautiful people in town, lots of people looking for awards. Unfortunately, most people go home sort of losers. If you consider a loser somebody who makes millions of dollars per year and everybody tells them all the time how wonderful they are. Well, this morning I thought we'd take a look at the big picture nominees and see how they relate to you and your health. Because believe it or not, there's some fun ways to look at these movies. And in the process, you'll learn something about yourself, your health, your body, and what you should or shouldn't be doing. Let's start off with Spotlight, which to me was my favorite movie of the year. Of course, this movie is about the Catholic Church in Boston. And it opens up with a great line. Cardinal Law says to the new editor of the Boston Globe, "The city flourishes when its great institutions work together." The city is better, of course, when great institutions are questioned and asked why they're doing certain things. So Spotlight is about 4 journalists working on a team called Spotlight that look at stories over a period of about a year and then publish them. And what they did in the early part of this century was they start linking the fact that a lot of Catholic priests were being accused of pedophilia. And the questions they asked, which was goaded by their new editor, a man called Martin Barron, was, is there a cover-up? What's going on? Why is there so many priests? And if there's so many priests, do the people at the top know it? Now, here's the thing. Society has always been and is in denial about sex, what it is, and our need for sex. To be fully healthy, you've got to be sexually healthy. You've got to be sexually happy. Now, what that means, of course, is very, very complicated. When we don't like something about sex in our society, we tend to medicalize it. For many, many years, we medicalized being gay. We felt that being gay was a psychiatric disorder not that long ago. In fact, conversion therapy is still kind of popular in some areas, even though some states have outlawed it. They send you off to these therapy sessions, which are supposed to convert you from being gay to being straight. And how silly is that? What about circumcision? Most babies, male babies in America, are circumcised. Why? No medical need. No physiologic need. Why do we do that? What about all the taboos about menstruation? What about them? We're afraid of it. We won't let advertisements about menstruation on TV. Sex in our society is everywhere, yet it's nowhere. What about sex education? Frequently just like 1 or 2 classes about technical stuff, not put in context. The HPV vaccine, the human papilloma virus vaccine, an anti-cancer vaccine, a vaccine that prevents cancer of the cervix in women, and cancers of the head and neck in both men and women. But yet a lot of parents are afraid, don't want to vaccinate their daughters because they fear if they give this vaccine to them, they'll become promiscuous. I don't understand the link. Maybe somebody can call in and explain it to me. Big Pharma has gotten into the business of sex. Remember when Viagra first came out? I do. I was a working physician, and never in my entire life did I have people making appointments to be seen the day Viagra was launched. And men by the thousands, by the tens of thousands, were lining up for that. Viagra became part of the culture. The word is part of our everyday lexicon. Recently, we had Sprout Pharmaceuticals bringing out flibanserin, which was meant to be a female Viagra. Of course, it wasn't. Flibanserin, which doesn't really work, is meant to be an aphrodisiac. Viagra isn't. Viagra fixes a mechanical problem. Now, in the Boston community, the Catholic Church was indeed covering up priests who were pedophiles. The senior people in the church knew about this and were moving the priests around. The BBC, that world-famous BBC, just published a report that one of their beloved characters, one of their beloved personalities, Jimmy Savile, was a pedophile. And we know that he raped and abused at least 72 children. And here's the awful part of that. The people running the BBC, running that wonderful institution, that worldwide renowned institution, actually knew. They knew about it and did nothing. Nowadays, we in the medical world are kind of catching up, kind of understanding that sexual health is part of overall health. But the reason that you're hearing the hesitancy in my voice is this. We're giving meds frequently for problems that are more psychological. We're giving meds for stuff that really don't need meds. Now, On my website, DrChambersOnCall.com, I've got a couple of podcasts. One of them is Your Penis Happy? And it's about what a penis is, what a penis does, and this stuff that you think you may know if you're a guy, but you probably don't. And certainly if you're a woman, you don't know all of it. And I did a sequel called Is Your Vagina Happy? I'd like you to check them out because there's stuff in there that I can't talk about on terrestrial radio that will help you understand who you are sexually. So what do I want you to take home from all of this? What I want you to understand is this, that if you're going to be healthy, you have to be sexually healthy. If you're gay, if you're not gay, if you're transgender, if you're not transgender, if you're straight, if you're not straight, we all have our needs and we all have our desires. And if you don't take care of them, you don't recognize them. If you refuse to acknowledge them, they've got to work their way out in some way.